Oh,
That's not our fault.
oh, one survived. Yeah, she's dead
I
now.
don't think so.
Hello, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Brandon.
And today we play Lord of the Rings Return of the King for the PlayStation 2, and we want to discuss if the game holds up in a modern day. Lord of the Rings Return of the King is a video game adaptation for the third film in the trilogy and came out on October 31st, 2003 for the PlayStation 2 and various other platforms. The game, for its time reviewed, was given an 85 on Metacritic, but does that hold up in 2020? First, we're going to take a look at the gameplay. So the first thing we're going to discuss for gameplay is the story progression.
From what I remember of the movies, it followed what happened. So it feels like it progressed. I mean, I feel like some of the parts that had us running around could be like cutscenes. I don't know if we need to be running around for half of it.
What part would you say with the running around?
Well, like when we were on the top of the gate, kicking over ladders, and they had us run all the way down for no reason, and then it started a cutscene.
Oh, I think it was, yeah, but I think what the game was trying to go for was it was trying to like show you actually running with the guards, and actually in my head I was actually enjoying that scene quite a bit. But I don't think that I kind of think it was stupid for it to transition into like when you finally reach the bottom, the game it just ends, chapter just ends. I wish it would have just transitioned into the next chapter immediately, but that just wasn't how the game was overall designed.
Yeah, we had to level up and see our stats.
Yes, and I think this with the whole story progression, I like what the concept they were going for with splitting the two characters up, like the two major story arcs up. Having you play as Legolas, Aragorn, and Gimli first, and then Gandalf joins the party a little bit later. But then you get all the way to the Black Gate and you hold out, which is literally the end of the movie. And then you go back and you play Frodo, and now you're back at the beginning of the movie again.
Yeah, I feel like there should be an option to do both. The things that are happening simultaneously in the movie or the book or whatever, you could also choose to do simultaneously in the game.
Yeah, I think it should be a choice. Like, if you want to not ruin the flow of playing a shit ton of Aragorn straight through the middle of the story, then that should still allow you to. But then it would have been nice to have been able to like bounce back and forth and play Frodo, so you can play more chronological than same characters. So I don't know. That's just something that's stuck out to me. I kind of like it. Feels like it would ruin the flow jumping back and forth between the two characters. But then at the same time, it feels like it would ruin it ruins the flow more, having to go back to like playing Frodo at the beginning.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It should be optional.
Yeah, agreed. Optional would be so much better than forced. And what do you think of the button mapping?
When you start co-op, it doesn't even tell you the mapping. There's probably buttons I could have used I didn't even know about.
I don't know. I pressed every button, and you know what you remember what the right analog stick did, right?
Just attack.
It's fucking stupid. I absolutely hate that the right analog stick is attack, because you want to fix the camera so badly in some of the scenarios, and then you just smack.
Because the camera's bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yes, the camera was absolutely terrible. It was cool for some of the areas, but then when the camera during some of those transition, like for example, where the puts the invisible wall, like I like when they do broken cameras or broken cameras, which was used heavily in this game, or fixed camera angles. I enjoy when they allow you to still push, like you don't get stuck against an invisible wall because you're trying to transition the camera. But some of those scenes where when we're trying to go down the one pathway, and you're just running up against an invisible wall, and you have to wait till your buddy gets there before you can even progress, it just kind of sucks. Because then the AI can still go through that boundary.
Yeah, push, attack me while I'm stuck and can't do nothing.
Exactly. And with the co-op camera, if you're not together all the time, you can easily just run. The person leading the pack will just get smacked right off the side of the camera.
Yeah, I feel like the range on it's not very big.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be bigger.
Agreed. But I don't know. For its time, I guess that was the kind of camera you get, and it was going for the broken camera. It'd have been cool though if like player one could have had more control over the camera a little bit with the right analog stick instead of making the right analog stick attack.
Yeah.
How difficult would you say the game is though?
That game had a higher skill cap than I remember.
I know.
I remember just button mashing before, and I don't remember combos. I don't remember like finisher moves. I just remember swinging my sword just over and over again and just killing things.
I agree. I look at it now and I'm like, how the fuck did I beat that chapter as like
Yeah, I don't even know how I
7-year-old?
played.
Yeah.
That blows my mind. Like how frustrated and angry I was getting now. I have no idea how I even played this game before.
Yes, the mission with the elephants. I remembered failing that mission a decent amount of times because I didn't know you had to push the camera up against you had to push the camera to go down that one walkway, and luckily I recalled that. But that was the primary reason for failing that mission. And I don't remember failing that mission over and over and over because of it being hard as shit.
Yeah.
And that mission was absolutely insane. And
I think it should be easier to go to back to easy mode.
yes, I don't know how easy mode works. I think we had to beat the chapter on the difficulty of easy just to even get easy for the next one.
Oof.
Yeah. The game was, I don't know. The combos are really interesting. It adds more to the game, but it's fucking harder to pull off. And what adds the difficulty of the game is if you get circled, you just get stuck in this clusterfuck and you just get hit from all directions. And you can't do anything about it. You can't do anything about it. All you can do is spam square the parry button and hope your co-op partner can fucking save you.
Yeah, I would love for like some kind of roll or like better dodge than the just jumping back we got.
Yeah, and the jumping back had a casting animation. I did try that a few times, and I would jump backwards, but then I get smacked in the middle of my jump and take free damage when I could have just kept spamming square and probably taken no damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hell. It was hell so much. And the amount of lives they give you, it's kind of small. And because of the fact that the health pots are RNG, there's times where like health pots are just dropping, like pop, 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 just nonstop health potions. And then there's times where there's fucking no health potions, and you're just struggling your ass off, and you're just spamming parry in the corner while your co-op partner does all the work. And then at the same time, if your partner kills the enemy, he's probably gonna get that health pot because he killed that enemy.
Yeah.
Did anything stand out though for you in gameplay wise?
Or
Or is the roll feature? That's all you really want, just a roll.
that roll. I like getting stepped on by the ants. Just being laid out.
And the spiders?
I don't like spiders. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Those were annoying enemies. You can get your combo up pretty good.
You could get your combo up pretty good until you found out the more effective way is just to knock them on their ass and stab them.
Yeah.
And then
But then you try to do that with a group of them, and it's just there's no way.
Yeah, you're just getting smacked from what? You had 6 spiders on you in that final phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty ridiculous. So, how well do you think the graphics hold up in the modern age?
I think they're all right. I have definitely seen worse. I have definitely seen worse.
Yeah, but then honestly, some of it I like I enjoyed the graphics a lot. I think the graphics were actually extremely good for the time, and things I noticed was like when you shoot arrows at the Uruks or the orcs or anything, the arrow would still be sticking out of them. There's a lot of detail to the clothes and the textures. Some of the facial expressions were kind of weird. Like one time I saw Aragorn squint his eyes, and his eyebrows completely covered his eyes.
Dude, his whole upper forehead just smushed.
You couldn't see he couldn't see anything. There's no way he'd be able to see anything.
And of course, a big thing that I don't like is when they talk. When the character talks, and the model mouth just doesn't move at all. That's just like not good.
Yeah. At least the one thing they did do is they didn't show that too often. In the beginning of the game, it did with Aragorn talking to the king, the undead king. You could see his neither of their mouths moving, but then later on they don't show the face as much when it came to talking, so you didn't really notice. And when there is talking, it was cutscenes. And talking about cutscenes is the next thing I want to talk about. How did you feel, Brandon, about the cutscenes?
Okay, so I mean, I get that the game is based off of a movie, but I just don't like when they add clips of the movie into the game It just feels like it just feels a little cheap. I mean, feels like they cut some corners. Just glue that in there. That's what's happening. Feel like if they did all, because there were cutscenes that were like just part of the movies, and there were cutscenes that were like the graphics of the game. And usually it turned to the graphics of the game it went from the movie and then boom, it's the game graphics, like a switch real fast. And I feel like if they just had the game graphics for all the cutscenes, everything, it'd be pretty okay.
I don't know. So for me, I absolutely love Lord of the Rings. I watched the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy about every 2 months. And so for me, those cutscenes were absolutely amazing. And then the transitions, I love cutscene graphics of gameplay, graphic transitions, like seamless transitions. And for it being that old, it's obviously a drastic transition, like with the one that we noticed with Gandalf. When the transition with Gandalf's face, it went just like from movie Gandalf to like this video game Gandalf, and it just looks like Gandalf gets like 20 years older and smooth as hell. It's very interesting with the direction, like for some of the transitions, but I thoroughly enjoy the transitions for the game, and I feel like using if for it being a video game adaptation to a movie, I feel like it's okay to use the movie for some of the cutscenes, especially since they had to dumb down the quality of the movie too. But in a modern age, I feel like you would definitely have to create your own cutscenes, especially because you had better technology for nowadays. I feel like nowadays that'd be really cheaping out, having like this super high fidelity game suddenly using movie graphics.
The only good cutscenes were the little videos you can click between missions. Those are the best. Those are okay.
We found out Elijah Wood's a gamer.
Yeah, he's the best gamer on the planet apparently.
Yeah.
He can levitate the controller. Those are words out of his own mouth.
Oh yeah, we'll show the clip.
Well, Elijah's a pretty good gamer.
The best player would be Elijah.
Well, this is where I get to pat myself in the back. I'm definitely a better gamer than the two of them.
He's a gamer!
Elijah has
Damn,
this
Frodo's a gamer.
insane ability of being able to just grab hold of a console and go through a game.
I've actually made the controller float, and without touching anything, I've managed to play the game. It's only happened a few times.
What?
But
I've only been...
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Wait, what the fuck did he just say?
The first ever gamer cringe from Frodo.
What the fuck? Did anything stand out to you among the graphics in the game? The one thing you said was like when you had me stop and look out in the distance when we were just defending Minas Tirith.
That was bad. You should not look out. You shouldn't look too hard at the outside of the map.
Or
the skybox and the outside. Ooh,
the skybox at the Black Gate.
it's just not good.
There's just like a red burn mark on the wall, and it just makes no sense.
Yeah, it's like you were playing a game in a giant dome that's just been painted.
Yeah, well, that's what a skybox is, but it feels like the issue with the skybox. I feel like the issue with the skybox is it's too close to the playing field.
That close. Like it looks like a wall.
Yeah, it definitely needs to be further away, so like it looks more distant rather than it being like a wall that's right within the playing field, so you can literally touch it, and it looked really weird. Especially when the skybox consisted of like all blackness and then one like red smudge that was I think fire in the distance. But I don't know, for the graphics, overall, like I said, I think I enjoyed the graphics a lot. Some of the stuff was really some of the take on the graphics was really interesting. But and then obviously being the age of the game, the way you have to do the graphics and the tricks you had to do back then obviously had to be for certain reasons. Brandon, did you enjoy the OST?
It's aight.
It's aight?
It's aight.
I don't know.
Nothing I haven't heard before, dude.
I don't know. I absolutely love the Lord of the Rings soundtrack, so that was fucking amazing to me. Listening to all of it. Only time I could say it was a little overboard is there were some scenes where all the fighting is going on and the music is fucking blaring.
Hold on, what exactly does OST stand for?
Original soundtrack.
Okay, there you go, dude. The soundtrack, not original. It's from the movies. There you go.
What the fuck?
They should have made their own epic music just for the game.
So you're saying a game based off that movie should not use that movie's music?
I didn't say they couldn't use that music. I said they should have some original music in there too.
I don't know, man. That's asking a little too much for an adaptation. So so that's really gonna hold you past the pushing point where you say that's not.
They gave us a little tidbit. They gave us our own little view into the game or into the movie with those videos.
Yeah, that was actually.
I feel like they could have done some original songs.
Yeah, that was really interesting though. That how they instead of just ripping all the sound from the movie and putting it straight in the game, they actually went into the studio and refilmed all their voices and recorded all their stuff again.
Yeah, that's what I would have liked. They should have done that with the music and added some new twists. So it's it's a video game. They could have done something.
Yeah, there might have been some twists like extended versions of some of the songs, because obviously the movie has a set length for how long a song's going to go on, and the game is it takes as long as the player needs, which could be forever in some of our cases. When we're defending smacking orcs for about 5 minutes, not realizing that we're supposed to fling the catapult.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Does it ring a bell? Okay. You're just upset you lost all those perfects. Wait, no, it was excellence at the time.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah.
Don't know what you're talking about.
All right, so talking about that gameplay and all that with sounds, how about the sound effects for the game? What would you say about that?
I can't really remember. Like when you got hit, did they make like an Did they make those noises?
I think I was just laying on the floor 90% of the time when I got hit. I don't think there was any sounds, honestly. Was there? Other than just like typical sound effects, I think nothing stood out to me.
I feel like they should have. Every time they got hit.
You think Aragorn the actors for the characters should have just gone in there and grunted a lot?
Yeah, someone should have just started beating them.
Oh my god!
Or the noise they made.
Jesus Christ!
Make it authentic. Fucking was it Sir
Christopher Lee.
Really? Yeah. So when Christopher Lee, like I famously heard that. Was it this movie that they wanted him to make the sound of someone getting stabbed? And he was like, no, that's all wrong. You see, this is what it sounds like when someone gets stabbed in the back. Like a gasping, like, like that.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, look, do Christopher Lee on getting stabbed. Lee refused to scream. He told the director that he witnessed many men getting stabbed in the back, and none of them ever screamed. According to the late actor, they merely sighed as air escaped their lungs.
So there's your explanation. They don't grunt because
so
their air escape.
Lord of the Ring Cash should get stabbed.
Jesus.
That's basically what I'm saying.
You want him to go like fucking full Leonardo DiCaprio, where they continue out of scene after getting injured?
Yeah, after cutting their hand on a broken glass bottle.
My god.
No, but I can't remember if them making noises when they got hit or something. So like sometimes I can't tell if I parried or got hit. Like I mean you can see if you like the sparks, but I feel like a little added audio cue because I can't always look down and check my health.
Yeah.
Kind of help me out knowing if I'm getting booty blasted or if I'm blocking like an animal.
So would you say you would like a heartbeat for when you were low HP?
Yeah, maybe like a more like a visual cue on my character. Maybe he blinks red or something, or he looks more bloody, or I don't know.
Interesting.
Because a lot of times I remember just falling over dead because I didn't know I was dying so fast.
Yeah. I don't know if blinking would help, especially since there's times where what's this called? The fucking mobs would be in your camera, and you have like that transparent camera because you're just looking through the crotch of a orc or a Trent or something.
I don't need to blink. Only I need to blink.
But yeah, no. With any sound effects, I don't really remember anything like that stood out. Like the level up sound effect wasn't anything like super unique for me. I think the only sound effect I found like to be like kind of annoying is the post mission screen when you're watching your kills count, and when you have no perfects, it just like you see it draining, but it's draining nothing, and there's no sound effects. It's just that awkward quietness.
Yeah, I tried to skip it many times.
Yes, I wish I could skip it, and it was just so, because it's so slow, and if you don't have any, and it's like on a set like 5 seconds, where it's gonna dump out all the kills within 5 seconds. So if you got one perfect, it's like stays at 0 for 5 seconds, and then just suddenly turns to 1 at the very end of the audio clip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something that could be fixed though, just with like now that people look at the game and like, oh yeah, that could be changed. All right, with sound design being closed out, did did anything stand out to you among sound designs?
No.
None.
Nope. If I can't even remember if I made a sound when I got hit, no sound design
Yeah.
stuck with me.
Yeah, I'd agree. Now for the modern day, is this game as good as you remember?
I remember it being more epic, and like I remember just fighting hordes and hordes of like orcs and crap like that. So playing it again, I'm like, oh, this. I don't ever remember before about about like enemies spawning and running up to me. I just remember fighting, just over and over.
I think it's because of our like child brains that we don't recall all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'd never really like pointed it out to me, which, I mean, makes the game better. I think if I'm not waiting, like, you know how we were waiting at like the peak for the enemies to run off the edge so we can actually hit them.
Yeah,
I don't remember any of that when I was a kid. I just remember fighting for my life.
I agree. There's a lot of stuff where it's just, I still like the game. I enjoyed it overall. I just feel like the combos are cool, but when you're getting fucking swarmed by like 6 to 10 orcs or spiders or anything, you just can't do the combo because you can't risk pressing 4 inputs and not getting smacked by any of those like units that are circling you.
I made a personal choice to not do combos because I'm just not a fighting game, man. I don't do combos. I mash one button, and if it doesn't work, well,
trust me, I knew you weren't doing combos, because whenever you do a combo, you get that little orc, you get that little white, the lettering for the name of the combo will pop up, and it was only I never saw a combo outside of mine pop up on the screen.
Yeah, I saw yours pop up. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, Orc Slayer, because I kept using you use a pari and then you use a heavy after a pari, and you can instantly kill an orc, and that's what I kept using. But you can't do it unless you have time to cast an entire heavy attack, and the heavy attack takes like what, 2 seconds. So if you're circled, you can't do shit about it. Would you say it's a good video game adaptation of a movie?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's probably one of the few video game adaptions of a movie that I enjoy. You know, besides Enter the Matrix, it's a good one.
Yeah. I would have to say I think it's extremely good. There's not a lot of good video game adaptations of movies, and whenever I think of an adaptation to a movie, there's a lot of bad ones out there, but the Lord of the Rings Return of the King is one that always stood out to me, like to just recall and think of a good adaptation and just be like, yep, that's a good one. And then most people also play this game in their childhood, and they agree most of the time. How does the game altogether hold up today? So for me, I just playing it right now. After playing a lot of it, I feel like it was a good game. It's definitely feels extremely clunky coming from playing a lot of. For me, I play a lot of hack and slash games, all the Souls games, and just Metal Gear Rising, all these other games where it's completely refined and the hack and slash doesn't feel clunky. And then playing this game where an orc is just, you're just trying to smash his shield and he keeps on dashing backwards, and you try to smash his shield and he just dashes backwards more. And then you get circled and enemies and you can't do anything with block until you get like that small window where suddenly none of them are attacking and you try to run out. Or having no roll or dodge option, just having this parry. But one mechanic I do like is attacking at the same time as the enemy attacks is also considered a parry. So I really enjoyed that option. I really enjoyed that as a feature, being able to being able to like just spam the attack button, and most of the time it's going to block an attack unless you get hit in the ass or something.
So I mean, it's an old game. It's not going to be as smooth. Okay, you have to know what you're getting yourself into when you play older games. You got to know that it hasn't been whittled down to a science, being like, oh, people like this, that. I mean, it's a lot of. It's not what you would call smooth gameplay.
It's fan service.
Yeah, it's fan service. So
You gotta listen to OST at 200% volume.
I mean, half the game, half the enjoyment of the game is just knowing that you're pretty much playing Return of the King in video game form. I mean, you can hear it through all the actors when they're talking about when they were recording their voice lines, how like usually their character wouldn't be doing this, but the game shows you that, oh, now you can see this side of the character, that they're brave or whatever. Like you never see Samwise and Frodo just rolling up on a pack of orcs and just start hacking and slashing them. It's still a video game, but as long as you like Lord of the Rings and you like those kind of third person or fixed camera hack and slash kind of games, then yeah, you'll like it. You can still play it nowadays.
And with that being said, do you think this game deserves a remake or to be remastered, or do you think it holds up enough to just be ported over to Steam or something so that you can play it again?
Oof. That last part you added there is a real tough one. I feel like a lot of the people who love this game would love to just play a port of it on Steam. But if they were to remake or remaster it, I feel like the Shadow of Mordor series, that those kind of mechanics. I mean, it's not going to be open world. I mean, it's based off a movie, so there has to be a linear line you're supposed to be doing. I feel like it could benefit from some of the combat that Shadow of Mordor has. I don't know. I've always liked that combat. It just feels good when you just combo and then stab.
Honestly, I can completely agree. I think it fits perfectly. After playing that, I feel like that's kind of the idea they go for, because in Shadows of Mordor, you can shoot a bow, you can hack and slash a lot. Somehow you rolled over that one orc at one point in the game, and we don't know how you did it.
It pretty much was like me like walking over them. Like there was no animation for me like in the air or nothing. It was just me walking over them.
Yeah, but that can happen in Shadow of Mordor though, where you can roll over an orc. So it
Yeah,
feels.
I love the dodging. It's great. Good.
Yeah, so I feel the game, if they just took that exact same engine, all the mechanics, and just they could easily make a port of this kind of game.
Yeah, it could also be interesting. Well, hold on there. It could also be interesting with adding maybe some new mechanics with the hobbits. I mean, the Hobbit with Frodo and Samwise. I mean, they were more in the movies. They were just more stealthy. I mean, they were always like sulking around and stuff. So I think it'd be cool to kind of maybe make some of their missions more kind of like that instead of just the same thing, just with shorter people.
Yeah, so the game would need a full remake then, that being said, because that'd be a whole lot of like differences between the two games. So, but I completely agree with you. I feel like the game should be remade completely from the ground up. And instead of using movies as your cutscenes, they could use real in-game generated graphics for their cutscenes.
Yes.
And that being said, would you play the game again?
No.
Why not?
The old, what, 2004?
2003.
The old 2003 version. I mean, I replayed it once now. I think that's enough.
That's enough?
Yeah, it's not like a game I could replay multiple times in the span of a year.
So after our 4-hour session today of playing that game, you're calling it.
Yeah, I don't really want to play anymore.
What would you give this game a rank out of 10 for a modern 2020?
So if this game came out right now in 2020,
yeah,
as it is, it would get a 4.
And it being a classic, would you give it more?
it being a classic, like when I played this game when I was a kid.
Let's say
it'd
this
be
game.
like,
Let's say this game got released on Steam. Let's say this got released on Steam right now, and it's going to be a lot of people playing it for nostalgia and stuff.
so it's re-released. So
Yeah.
it's not the game. The game came out like for the first time.
Yes, for a re-release.
For a re-release.
What would you give this game?
Okay. Personally, a 6.
A 6, and how much would you pay for it?
$15.
$15.
Yeah, and I think that's generous.
Generous. I would.
20 would be pushing it.
20? Really? That's gonna be my price. I was gonna say $20. I say $20, and I'd give this game probably. I'd probably give this game a 6 or a 7. Same thing as
If
you.
they added like more than just the base game, like I don't know what more they could add, like a soundtrack that you could get with the game or something.
The original soundtrack. You might as well just go download the fucking soundtrack for Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, the actual movie. Then.
Yeah, I know. So there's no point. So $15.
Maybe they'll give you the sound effect for the level up, for the sound effect for the post game screen.
Unless they give me like lewd fan art made by the concept artist, no deal.
No deal. Alrighty, people.
Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed. If you didn't enjoy, I mean, there's a dislike button for a reason. There you go. That's the point.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I don't. You know,
I don't own you.
Click. If you feel the need to go on your 5 alternate accounts and hit like, who am I to stop you?
Thank you for watching. How's that sound?
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Which is fucking ASMR it. Thank you for watching.
Please like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification button to be notified on our news releases.
I can't take ASMR serious ever.